Hi. Now I will take as point of departure the experience that we all have that service encounters are not always harmonious. And I will, based on this experience, I will shortly introduce a kind of conceptualization of value creation, but also value destruction. It provides a kind of foundation for how we theoretically can explain what is really happening in service encounters. We can show the mechanisms and the outcomes of these interactions. And how does it work? Let us take a closer look at what people actually do in service encounters. And for this purpose I use the concept of practice. It's a concept taken from a theoretical school called practice theory, and we use this to deepen our understanding of what is really happening. By studying and analyzing practices, we can see what people are doing and what people are saying. And by this exercise, you can understand more of the complexities in these social phenomena. This formation of value is intersubjectively assessed by the actors in the interaction and in the interaction between service provider and the customer. Generally speaking, we can distinguish between 5 specific practices. One of them is informing. Another one is greeting. The next one is delivering, charging, and helping. In each practice, we can identify at least 3 elements. We can think of these as the DNA of practices. One of these components is procedures, and that includes instructions, rules, and that is also known as know what in doing services. The second element is understandings, and that includes experienced skills and what we normally and commonly call know-how. And the third element is engagements, and that is about emotions and commitments in the service. What stands out in this is the fact that value co-creation is about the elements of practices, and that these elements are congruent. And that is that the 2 interactants together assess what is the best way of handling this interaction. It's about having a kind of consensus as to which procedures and understandings and engagements that should inform the very interaction. This is also true for the opposite case, where elements of practices are not in congruence. This is a case where the people, the individual persons involved in the interaction do not really agree on what to do. Maybe they have different understandings of what kind of elements should be informing these interactions. Typically, there are 4 types of interaction value formations, which is also called praxis. The first one is reinforcing co-creation of value, and that is a kind of positive spiral created by the interactants. The second one is reinforcing co-destruction, which is the negative side of this interaction, which is of course a negative spiral. The third one is recovery co-formation of value. Recovery means here in this context that the interaction is having a bad start, but it's recovered during the process. And the fourth one is we call reductive co-formation of value, and that is an interaction that is having a good start, but the value is reduced during the procedure due to different ways of communicating. And with this model, we can put all these elements together. It illustrates how different practices, you see them left in the model, are involved in service encounters. Practices are constituted by different elements. Some interactions create value while others destroy value. the outcome is 4 general ways of value formation. To conclude this little exercise is that this model describes the mechanism of how people intersubjectively assess the value in interaction and in the interaction of service provider and customers. And in that sense, this model also explains how value is realized.